Hi guys, this is Alex from Mason Lifestyle. I hope everybody is doing well. It has been some time away from the channel. I have been enjoying my summer and just spending time with the kids and traveling mainly to Spain. We were there for 2 weeks. I got to go visit Barcelona. We went to Barcelona, Granada to go see the Alhambra, which is such a beautiful place. We also went to Malaga, which is close to Marbella. It's on the south of Spain, to go visit a friend, which I had never met in person. So that was very fun. And then we also went to Seville and then to Barcelona and go home. Well, that was 2 weeks. It was super hot. I don't even know why I brought my makeup bag because I don't even think I ever unzipped it. It was about 95 degrees average the time we were there, so it was fairly hot. And for all of you Celsius loving folks, it was between 42 to 40 Celsius, so it was pretty hot. Um, but I got to go to a lot of stores while I was there. And coincidentally enough, when we went to Barcelona, my sister had booked a hotel that was 5 minutes away from the largest fabric store in Barcelona. So needless to say, I was very happy about that. And that was literally my first pit stop in Barcelona. We went to a store called Ribels and Casals. They actually have stores all over Spain, but it is a very nice store. All the bolts are pretty much everything's in bolts, and you just go from table to table and somebody cuts your fabric. And then when you are all done, you go pay. So I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, but I had posted a picture of this fabric and it was on the window. This is the best way that I can explain it. It feels like a satiny. Is very drapey, but it has a little bit, I usually like to call it some sort of like a little bit of weight. I think I bought around 3 meters, which is almost like around 3.2 yards of fabric. I'm thinking I may make a wrap dress with this. Again, very drapey fabric. It's got some beautiful colors. It does feel a little bit springy, but I don't care. I saw it on the window and I knew I had to have it. So that was one of my purchases out there. On that same store, I saw this fabric, and this is, it almost feels like a gauze, but it's not, which is, it's fairly thin, very drapey. They had it on display, and they had it on display, and I wish I would have taken a picture because it was almost like a turban that somebody had worn in their hair, and it was like wrapped so beautifully. They do a really, really nice job just displaying the fabrics versus just throwing things. They really do a nice job. And again, it feels very spring, very summery, but I loved it. And definitely it's something that we have to line because it feels just a tad light, right? If I wear undergarments and whatnot. But I think I also bought 3 yards of this fabric. It has just a very nice watercolor feel to it. Super soft. I don't know, and I will say this, I have no idea what I'm going to make with its fabrics. Don't know what I'm gonna make. That's why I bought 3 yards or 3 meters of some of these. Some of these I bought less. And I was trying to stay away from things like linen or voile or just things that I can get here. Just trying to stay away from that stuff that's just kind of boring, right? You're going across the other side of the of the pond, you're buying the same usual stuff. So I was trying to really avoid that stuff. So I got also this fabric. My daughter loved it. It's got a lot of like blues and greens. Again, fairly light. And I felt like a lot of the fabrics that they had out there were, I mean, they have, I do have to say this, they have from wools to linens to cottons to polys. They had everything. But they had what it's called estampados, which means prints. So you would go to the table and find a lot of prints. And I do have to say that I went to the store in Barcelona for Ribels and Casals, and I also went to the store in Malaga, which is in the south of Spain, visiting that friend. But they also had a Ribels and Casals there, and they had the same types of fabric. So if perhaps I saw something in Barcelona um, that I didn't get, you have another chance. So I got this fabric. I have no idea what I'll make with this. Again, it's fairly lightweight, so I may even have to wait a little bit to work with it, maybe next year. Again, it's fairly lightweight, so it's something perfect for summertime. And then I also saw this fabric. I saw this fabric on the window. It's, I mean, it almost feels like a viscose twill. It has a little bit of ridges, and it has some body to it. It's a really nice fabric, guys. And I bought 2 meters of this. And I'm thinking that I may just make a skirt, like a long skirt with a little bit more body, and something that where I can add like a horse braid for the hem, just to give it some volume. I mean, it feels really nice. I really love this color. They had it in this like fuchsia color. They also had it in a blue and a green. Definitely. Again, they had another display in the window, and it was truly mesmerizing and beautiful to see it. So I definitely, my sister's like, are you not getting that? I'm like, yeah, I think I need to get that. So I did 2 meters of this. I'm thinking that perhaps a pattern like this would be great for a fabric like this, just because it needs a little bit more, again, some more body to it. And again, I can wear it with like a nice button down white shirt like this. I think it would be beautiful in this fabric. And then I also finally found some Berta magazines, and obviously they are in Spanish, and yes, I can understand all of that. But it was kind of fun to find them. They have newsstands all over Spain, which is, I mean, these are the little things that sometimes I miss that we no longer have, at least in Chicago. I don't think I've ever seen a newsstand now in like years, maybe 5-8 years. But I found these at the train station when we were going from Malaga to Granada. I found these at the train station, and they were like €6.50 and €6. So when you kind of consider, okay, perhaps these are hard to find in the US, but in Spain and in Europe, you can find these everywhere. So I can definitely see why so many Europeans definitely buy Berta, right? It definitely makes sense to get these. And yes, you have to do a little bit more work because you have to trace all of that, right? And that is no fun. And of course, they don't have seam allowance. So you have to add seam allowance to these, which again, another hurdle. But again, some beautiful magazines. They have this coat, page 112. I have to show it to you guys. Absolutely gorgeous. Let me show it to you. That I think that's why I kind of saw this magazine. I'm like, whoa. So look at this. Look at that, right? Beautiful. I love the color. It's almost like a vermilion, kind of like a red with like an orange undertone. And check out that pocket. Check out the color. Beautiful, beautiful design. So definitely said, well, I'll get this magazine. And then of course, I also got a Berta Curvy because I am curvy. I can do this sizing. I just have to, of course, add some, a little bit extra on the sides and things like that, but I usually can use their patterns if it goes at least at size 18. And this is the Berta Curvy. I mean, some of the designs are a little bit more, I would say a little bit more simple, but I just wanted to grab it. We also went to a store in Seville called Julian Lopez. I could have stayed there for hours and hours, but of course I'm with my sister and with my daughter, so I also want to be cognizant that they're not interested in fabrics. They're nice enough to go with me and tell me, hey, I like this, or ooh, check out that. But they're not willing to stay there for 2 hours and let's go touch everything and to start everything like I would have. But I think I got a good 30 minutes. And they had a full-blown display of Liberty fabrics. And guys, you're probably thinking, well, I can get Liberty fabrics in the US. Yeah, you can. You can get some limited kinds of Liberty fabrics in the US. But at least by me, there's not a store where I can go touch things, check it out, check out the drapes, right? Check out the colors. Do I like it? Put it against my skin, right? All of that. But this store they had a pretty good selection of Liberty fabrics. I know that the only thing that they didn't have was the new Bridgerton fabrics, which is okay, because some of them look like you're about to upholster a couch. So I was cool if they didn't have those. They do have some others that I'm looking for, but they didn't have those, and it's fine. They had some other beautiful things. But I wanted to get some fabrics, and I do have to say, when you are looking at some of these shelves, it becomes overwhelming to see all of the prints, even though they have them by color. But every shelf has like at least 30 bolts, and there's like 3, and they're double-sided, so you're taking your sweet old time cutting through these. But my sister loved this fabric. I'm like, well, I don't know. And she really liked it. And I'm actually glad that she picked it, because now that I am at home, I'm able to really kind of like appreciate. And I'm thinking, oh, this would be a really nice fall dress. And I think I already know what pattern I'm going to use with this. I just have to make sure that I got enough. My sister was generous enough to gift me this fabric. It is, again, Liberty Tanalon. It is really nice fabric, you guys. And then one of the things that I was shocked that I found there, and I don't know if I have told you guys, I have been looking for this fabric for a long time. It's kind of like a personal thing for me to find this fabric. This is called Floral Eve from Liberty. It is actually based on an artwork that is at the British Museum in London. It's called Herbarium. But if you're new here, I used to be a florist for events, and I used rather unique flowers. Yes, I use roses and the traditional stuff, but I always try to find things that are a little bit unusual from your traditional flower that you find. And every time I look at this print, it reminds me of that. However, for years, I have not been able to find this print. And I know that Duckalily has a huge sale twice, or I think 3 times a year. I think it's twice. And every time I try to buy this print, the quantities that are like perhaps 3 yards or 4 yards, they fly off the shelf. They also have it in like a blush and like a blue undertone. I don't care for those. And they always fly off the shelves really fast, which of course they do. And then they have like 10 yards. And I'm like, what the heck am I going to do with 10 yards of that? That is too much. But I saw this fabric, and they had exactly 2.8 meters, which translates to exactly, guys, 3 yards. So sure enough, I bought the last 3 yards of this Floral Eve that they had. It was kind of like a very happy surprise for me in that I finished this way. But seeing this was just a very happy ending, and I have no idea what I'm going to do with this print. It's going to take me some time to figure out and match a pattern and make sure that I really do justice to this print. So, like I said, I have no plans for this yet or for any of these, right? I thought that I'm going to use this, but you never know. I am also trying to make a conscientious effort not to buy any more fabric because I just brought almost 10 meters or 10 yards of fabric back from Spain. So that's quite a bit. And obviously, I'm doing 20 other things, hence why it has been so hard for me to sew. Plus, summer has been kind of like a killer with the kids. And, I'm doing this video, but I have stopped it now like 6, 7 times because they're kids, they're teens, they're calling their friends, they're laughing, dogs barking, right? I have a full house. So by the time you watch this video, I will probably be having cocktails at 10 a.m. and throwing a party that they are back in school. I'm very happy about that. Very happy to get back to my routine and doing so-longs and whatnot. Next thing that I'm trying to do is I'm trying to make a bag for all my knitting stuff. I think I talked a little bit about it on Instagram. So I'll be working on this bag pattern from Waffle Patterns. I'm making the large. Believe it or not, I'm using fabric that I had scraps from a denim jacket that I made. So that's what I'm using. So I'm using this fabric. It's a twill. I'm probably going to have to interface it just because I want the bag to be a little bit stiffer. But that webbing on Etsy, it's beautiful. I mean, I love those two colors together. And of course, I said I'm not going to buy any fabric for the lining because I'm not. So looking through the pile, I had this. It doesn't quite, like the white background kind of like throws me off a little bit. But you know what? We're going to run with it. Because again, I don't want to buy any more fabric. Guys, I have faux suede, I have viscose, I have knits, I have swimsuit fabric, I have corduroys, I have wools. Think about it, I got it. So I'm definitely trying to just kind of use what I have. I'm going to try to see if I do some sew-alongs for you guys so you can follow along with some of my sewing adventures. It might be a week, might be 2 weeks. But yeah, I'm back in town, as they say. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Unfortunately, I cannot tag or link to any of these fabrics because I think I can link one. I think they might have this fabric online that you can buy, but the rest of the fabrics, you cannot buy them online. You gotta go to the shop and you gotta go touch. So have you guys bought any fun fabric this summer? Are you signing up for this 30-yard challenge? I think a lot of people on Instagram are. I think a lot of people have taken stock of their fabric stash and they have said, oh, I better kind of put a kibosh on that. So let me know in the comments below.